So now we're joined by chefs Daniel, I'm going to mess this up.
You can't possibly mess this up. Let's give it a go.
Holzman.
Ooh.
Beautiful. And Michael Chernow. How
Michael
are you?
Chernow. I'm well. How are you?
Good. Now you guys have, you run the Meatball Shop in the Lower East Side, or East Village actually, in New York City, which I heard about twice within like 2 days. Ooh. So you guys are hot. Why do you think people keep coming for meatballs?
He's handsome.
Is it to see you guys?
I think that, most people don't know that Mike is happily married, so they come down to see if they can catch a glimpse of the eligible bachelor on Stanton Street. But
I think people are eating focused foods today. People want to know the best of blah blah blah. So I think people are eating more focused foods. I think that meatballs are kind of taking a step forward into the pizza, hot dog, burger ring. And, I think that that's kind of, where we kind of have a corner on that market.
But I always thought that meatballs kind of got a bad rap, like it's kind of seen as your...
I'm going to have to cut you off right there.
Okay, cut me off.
I'm going to have to disagree wholeheartedly. I don't think... No, meatballs have always been a favorite. I mean, little kids all have, you have a memory of when you were a kid. Meatballs are something that, every culture kind of can associate some sort of childhood memory with. I think meatballs are universally loved. Let me ask you just straight up. Do you like meatballs?
I do like meatballs. Would I go to a meatball place on a first date? No.
Why not?
That's because no. The question is, would the guy bringing you out on a first date bring you to the meatball shop if he knew that you would think that it was expensive, but it turned out it was really cheap?
Well, that I can't answer.
I'll tell you, I will say that there has been many a first date at the Meatball Shop. It's a great spot for a first date, and it's just a simple food to get into. I mean, at any given time, you could stand in the corner of the Meatball Shop, see a 3-year-old kid and a 75-year-old woman with the same plate of food in front of them, and ecstatic.
Both of them could easily be on a first date.
Yes.
Now, what about groups of girls? Do girls go and get their hands dirty with meatballs?
So check this out. Last night, we're standing at the restaurant. We're on the way out. We have a communal table down the center of the restaurant.
How many seats?
16 to 18 seats. And there was not one male at the table. And Dan and I looked at each other and we're kind of like...
When we were first talking about opening this restaurant, that was the one thing everybody's like, well, it'll be great, but it's just going to be a big sausage fest. Dudes only. You're never going to get any ladies in there. And it's completely the opposite. I mean, we get a lot of dates, men and women together, but for just groups of people on their own, it's often groups of women.
Well, I think really what it is also is that, when a female gets an email about a place that just got a ton of press, she calls all of her friends. She's like, oh, my God, we got to go check out this place. When a guy gets an email, he's not like, oh, my God, we got to go check out this place to all of his friends.
He's like, dude, you want to go get a meatball?
yeah.
Dude,
let's go get some meatballs.
Let's get a meatball.
Right, exactly. That's how.
But he might be excited. He'd be like, dude,
let's
get a meatball
after the game.
I think you're right, because actually it was 2 of my girlfriends who were like, oh, my God, there's this new meatball place, and it's amazing. It's heaven.
I think what happens is the chicks check it out, and then they bring their dudes.
I'm not commenting here because I'm not happily married, so I'm careful walking on thin ice about throwing them in the corners.
So, I mean, how can you really dress up a meatball? You can have spaghetti and meatballs, meatball subs. Any other way that you can work it?
I think that you could probably do just about anything with a meatball. We've done just about everything with a meatball. But at the shop, you can have them on a hero, you can have them on a burger bun, you can have them on a slider bun, you can have them over pasta, polenta, risotto, you can have them over a salad, you can have them in a soup.
He
Meatball
forgot
and
the mashed
salad?
potatoes. The meatball and the salad thing is something that you should definitely not sleep on, to overlook.
Okay.
Meatballs in a salad are absolutely delicious. The thing about a meatball that's great is that it's actually really healthy. It's a portion-sizable meal. It is kind of like the perfect balance because it's a lot of protein. There's not a terrible, huge amount of carbohydrates in there. So it's kind of like you come down to the meatball shop, you can get your 6 ounces of protein, and you have a big salad mixed with vegetables. It is the perfect meal.
Beautiful. But how did you guys actually come up with this idea to open up a shop and only sell meatballs?
We had a whole other concept in mind. We found this great restaurant. It had a little side window. We were gonna try to serve something out of that side window to feed the drunks that were hanging out outside of the bar that was next to the restaurant.
Or they're just, the regular people.
Or just the regular people that were just hanging out.
We just figured
they don't have to be drunk to buy your food.
Well, but there was a bar that was right next to this window, right? And there was always just a ton of people hanging outside of the bar. So Dan and I were like, what are we going to do to serve those people? And, we kind of cased the hood, and we saw what people were eating late night, and we just wanted to do something different. And, you know, we decided on meatballs.
I guess, you know, everybody late night, they want something that's comfortable, comfort food. But all the comfort food that we could see was, you know, pretty unhealthy. So it was some idea of where's the marriage there, where you can have some comfort food, but also be a little bit more healthful.
I think when you're drunk, or when you're not drunk, or when you're really just nursing a sorry day or a happy day, you can, you know, come to the Meatball Shop, order a bowl of meat with tomato sauce and focaccia bread, and literally walk in and out in 15 minutes on a slower day.
If you walked in unhappy, you're going to walk out with a big smile and a full belly and mostly full wallet.
And are you going to want to also take a nap right after?
You can eat yourself to sleep if you'd like. That's known to happen.
For people who are making meatballs at home, what would be your first tip?
Wow. For people making meatballs at home, the first tip would be meatballs are inherently inexpensive. So go out there and use the top quality ingredients you can find, because it's not going to break the bank. Especially, you know, when it comes to the top quality meat for a meatball, like the chuck isn't terribly.
What's the chuck?
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Chef term.
I dorked out on that one for a minute too long.
The chuck. You know what's the chuck, Rick?
Chuck is the kind of meat that
The shoulder. It's a piece of the shoulder of the cow. And basically, I guess what I was trying to say is, you know, when it comes to like the most sought after cuts, like the steak cuts, the disparity between a cheaper, you know, less expensive piece and a more expensive piece, a better and a better quality and a worse quality, is really expensive or really cheap. But when it comes to the lesser sought after cuts, like the chuck and the hind legs or whatever, it's much less disparate. So you might find that you can really afford to go, you know, with the top quality, which will really help your end product.
So go for a good chuck, is what you're saying.
I'm saying just definitely swing for the chuck.
Nothing wrong with
nothing less than chuck.
A little bit of chuck. Chuck it in, chuck it out.
So what's the secret though to excellent meatball?
Well, you know, I think that there's no one secret. I think
This man right here. He's the secret. He is the secret.
Definitely a little bit of care, simplicity. I always say that you want to keep it super simple. The more ingredients, the more difficult it is to kind of figure out where you went wrong. So less is more is definitely a secret.
So when should I go? Because I already have two friends that have been talking about your place.
Tonight.
Tonight? Are you guys going to be there?
We will.
Excellent.
Yes. We will.
Well, on that note, we'll keep the conversation going tonight.
Great.
And thank you guys for stopping by.
Super lovely.
Can't wait to try out your
much.
incredible meatballs.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Thank you.